Greetings, YouTube. The Doctor is in. Dr. Urius Papers here, coming at you with another commentary on Marvel Contest of Champions. All right, so I want to talk a little bit about willpower and what is willpower. So we see here, there it is, willpower. It's in our masteries. And so I have willpower, and I have it at rank 3. So what is that? So what it says is for each new type of debuff your champions suffer, they passively regenerate 0.7% health per second and gain 135 armor until that effect expires. No effects on robots. Okay, so what that means is every time we get a new debuff, not stacking a bunch of the same debuff, but each time we get a new debuff, we get 7 health for every 1,000 health our champions have per second. And so this is important because if we're running suicides, which I run, so there they are, there's Liquid Courage and Double Edge. That gives me both a poison and a bleed. So those are two different buffs, so I will get some of my hit points back. But more importantly, when we combine willpower with recovery, that willpower increases. So regenerations all increase any health your champion recovered during a fight from a buff or passive regeneration effects by 15%. So 7 per 1,000 now becomes roughly 8 per 1,000. And so if we've got a champion who has 10,000 health, that 8 becomes 80. Okay, now the reason this is important, other than mitigating damage from our suicides and lowering it, because it's not going to eliminate it, it's just going to lower it. The reason it's important is because there are certain champions who put debuffs on themselves or who are immune for a certain reason or a specific amount of time to either poison or bleed, but still have the debuff on them, and that debuff counts towards their regeneration with willpower. So the first example I'm going to give is Corbus Glaive. And so let's go to Corbus. There he is right there. I've got a 5-star Corbus. And let's take a look at why he is immune. So we've got these missions, which this is what we need to concentrate on right here, is Glaives Immunity. So Corvus does not take damage from Cold Snap, Bleed, and Shock debuffs, nor Frostbite, while Glaives Immunity is active. When Glaives Immunity reactivates or is disabled, those debuffs are purified, and Corvus takes a certain amount of damage. So at the start, Corvus gets 20 permanent glaive charges, granting him true damage and guaranteed critical hits. So we don't care about all the rest of this stuff. What we care about is Corbus Glaive does not take damage. So he's not immune to it, but he doesn't take damage, particularly from bleed. And so I can put the Double Edge Suicide Mastery on him, and he won't take the bleed damage, but the bleed debuff is still on him, which counts towards willpower and our recovery, and causes him to actually regenerate hit points for a short period of time. So let's take a look at what that looks like in gameplay. Okay, welcome back. So we're going to go into Realm of Legends and have Corvus go up against our favorite Winter Soldier, of course. And this is the team that I've got. So I've got Corvus. I have Angela and Heimdall. So I've got Angela, Heimdall, and Magic. Those three go together. So when Corvus backs up, he's going to get a Fury and a Precision buff. And then I've got a Captain America in here to give him a bonus to his attack rating. But none of these really change the fact that he is immune to bleed, and that he's gonna get regeneration. So let's go in here and take a look at what this looks like, and I'll slow it down so you can see the regeneration numbers that he's getting off of this. And then I'm going to let it go until the bleed ends, and as soon as the bleed ends, you'll be able to see that regeneration almost completely disappears. All right, so here's my second example, and the second example is Immortal Abomination. So you're going to see this is an example of a character who is not immune to poison, and so let's take a look at him real quick just to show what I'm talking about and where he's going to get this this regeneration from. So he takes 100% less damage from poison effects, and the recover reduction from poison is 50% less effective. So, and he self-inflicts poison on himself. So there they are. Every 10th basic attack landed by either the champion inflicts Abomination with an indefinite poison debuff that deals 0 damage. So he gets a poison debuff, but it doesn't do any damage at all. And what that means is the debuff is still there, and it counts towards willpower, but it doesn't do any damage. So it triggers him to start healing. So what's going to happen here is we're going to fight Winter Soldier, and you're going to see he's got 2 different debuffs on him. He's going to have poison, and he's going to have bleed, and then he's not going to regenerate very much at all until the bleed disappears. And once the bleed disappears, then he's going to really start going. And it'll actually go down as he gets more poisons, because poison actually reduces your ability to regenerate. So let's take a look. Okay, so here's the third example we're going to look at, which is going to be Gambit. So why is Gambit going to get points back? Well, he's going to get points back for a very similar reason that Corbus Glaive gets them back. So he's got this flak jacket. So the Gambit begins each fight with a flak jacket charge, which is lost once he has taken a certain amount of damage. While the flak jacket is active, he gains an armor rating of 1,366, and incoming bleed effects suffer a minus 150% potency, which means that he subtracts 150% of the damage from a bleed effect, and that gets converted. So he's got a bleed on him, but it doesn't do any damage with suicides, and the bleed counts as a debuff, so therefore he starts regenerating more than a normal champion would because of that. It's a debuff on him. Willpower kicks in. Willpower starts acting to cause regeneration in addition with recovery, so he's actually going to regenerate hit points as long as that bleed is going. Once the bleed is gone, then you'll see that that effect goes away. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so the last champion we're going to look at is Kingpin. So I don't have a 5-star Kingpin, but I have a 4-star Kingpin. He's a rank 3, but he's going to suffice to show this. Now, why is Kingpin going to trigger this type of regeneration? Well, let's take a look at the Kingpin. So his base regeneration rate is 50% instead of a normal 100%. He's immune to all effects that modify regeneration rate, except for poison. And then each debuff on Kingpin only strengthens his resolve, increasing attack rating. So he gets this thing called Rage. And you can see here Kingpin can Rage, which is a debuff with no inherent effect. So it is a debuff. It counts as 1. He gets multiple stacks of Rage, but that for the purpose of Willpower, it only counts as 1. And remember, his base regeneration is 50% instead of the normal 100%. So we're only going to get half as much from this, but it still counts as a debuff. And then if he takes damage, he gains a Rage. If the enemy evades or auto blocks, he gains a Rage. I mean, there are a number of different reasons why he gains Rages, but he gains them, and whenever he has them, and he has the ability to get rid of debuffs as well. So where is that at here? When Kingpin's overpower buff, he has a chance to gain up to 5 Rages. That's not it. Kingpin gains a non-rage debuff, 6% chance to purify it and gain 1 rage. So if he gets a non-rage, that's any debuff that's not a rage, a 6% chance it goes away. And so the suicides are pretty much going to go away, and then he gains rage as well. And so that, the fact that he just has the one debuff is going to contribute to his regeneration. So let's take a look at that, and just to see what it looks like. And he's going to start out with a couple of these because I've got some synergies going right now with Luke Cage and with the Hood. And then he might gain a couple extra because he's going to get rid of the Suicide Bleed and the Suicide Poison.
She's got the 2. And then you see it just kind of disappeared. And both of the suicides just disappeared. So he's got one, and you see he's regenerating 21.
So, in summary, willpower is a very important mastery to have, particularly if it's maxed out, and to also have in combination with recovery. And it can work to your benefit for certain champions who do stack debuffs on themselves or who maintain a suicide debuff but are for all intents and purposes immune to that damage and the debuff doesn't go away. And really, I think the most important thing out of this is it allows your champion to regenerate or get back some of their health at the beginning of every fight or during the fights when you're going on long quest fights where you may be losing some health. It also helps with the recoil that comes with what we have to, because we have to take one level of recoil if we're going to run suicides, and so we're able to recover some of that damage that we take from the recoil through these. So these are more or less recoil-friendly champions because of that. So that's what I've got for you today. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you have questions or comments, leave them, and don't forget